Thank you very much for your contribution, Astrid. Can you hear us? Are you available for the discussion? Please, dear participants, start posting your questions in the Q&A and also eventually raise your hand if you want to ask a question. Astrid, I think I can hear you.
I can hear you. I hope you can hear me as well. But
I can hear you.
I click on the button with the video, but it does not help really. So I'm sorry for that.
Okay, I mean, these things happen. I mean, this is also for us the first virtual conference, so
yeah.
In that sense, it's always a bit exciting. I have a quick question regarding the amount of data. I mean, in the experiments that you represent, the amount and the velocity of data that is incoming is quite high. How will you handle that? Will you strip the data, or also? I assume that storing all the raw data is not really an option.
This is just under discussion. So at the moment, we store the data for a short time, but it will not be possible if the amount of data increases. So that's just the ongoing discussion. How can we manage it? And this is community dependent. Yeah? In some communities, they take the data home and then they are deleted at the facility. But this will not work for all the time. And in the other communities, we work on this data reduction. And then we come to the overlap to other communities. I feel it very interesting to discuss with the astroparticle physicists or astrophysicists, since they define what is at zero. Yeah, so this is a quite interesting process. What is the data we can delete, and where do we hope that we can find something later with better analysis methods? So it's not solved.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do.
So maybe I ask a question. So you mentioned this topic of open data. That data can be also analyzed later by other people. So how do you think this should be organized, and who should have access, and how could there be a standard how to do it?
Yeah, this was I carefully listened to one of the previous talks. Yeah, so. Open data does not mean that every data is open to everybody at every time. For sure, you need access rules. At the moment, we have some kind of quarantine, so that there are 2-3 years that people are, or the experimental group has only right to use the data for 2 years maybe, and then the data can be downloaded by the community. But if we include the analysis and so on, for sure you need to make access rules and accessibility rules. So this is for sure on one hand a technical problem. We just work on that by providing remote experiments due to the Corona stuff. So this is technically just under process, and it develops quite quickly. So the technical thing is probably not the issue, but for sure there are people who are not very happy to share their data. So this is something which is probably easy to, how to say, at the facilities, there are rules which are connected to the given beam time, which means you need to publish the data, and for sure you need to follow the fair data principles. So there is some small pressure to the users to follow these rules. But these data policies are also under work at the different facilities and under discussion. But it could be that it's community related. Yeah, that so not everybody can see it. On the other hand, citizen science is a quite interesting process which works for archaeology or other fields of science. We are not as far, but maybe at some time this will be a request as well.
So to what extent is this already established at facilities? So you mentioned this.
Yeah, the data policies at the individual facilities are under development. And this includes this quarantine rules. But at the moment, you can download data only if you have an account at the facility. So this is not everybody. And for sure, you can restrict it to the communities for biology or condensed matter, for instance.
But I mean, the data, the raw data alone is something, but without a really excellent description of metadata, they are typically useless. So in this sense, the issue is a bit more how the metadata are defined or give you really an access.
Yeah, that's the point. At the moment, most of the people think nobody can use my data since they don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
Or they do not have the information about sample growth and stuff like that, which influences the measured data. But if we provide all these metadata, then it will be accessible for independent analysis. But at the end, this is the goal. And then finally, it's a request by the funding agencies. Mm-hmm. So we need to think about that and agree at least about compromises.
Okay. Thank you very much.